Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakadash, and double honors unto the elder apostles and elder bishops who teach and rule well. His salutations to the men of Great Millstone and the brothers that teach a likewise doctrine. Unto the hopefully elect, this is the brother Rai Banyamian, here teaching a quick lesson. And the title of this lesson is This Word Will Soon Disappear. And the thought that came for this lesson was when this company that I work for, every quarter we do like safety briefings and stuff like that, things to be mindful of while we're on the road, how to avoid drowsiness, distraction, so on and so forth. And one of the safety briefings that we had to do was against sexual harassment and what's the other word? Anti-discriminatory. And on there is the indoctrination of isolating people from criticizing one another. I'll give an example. Let's say a woman walks to work with sexually clad clothing, right, which would appeal to the baser nature of men, right, the nature of lust and sexual activity. But if the man says something to her about it in a professional setting, she can then report, even though it's true, right? Even though it's true, as long as the woman feels uncomfortable with the statement, she can report the man or the woman making the comment about her clothing and how she looked. That could spark investigation and get the man in trouble for his comment. And this is why one of the reasons people no longer engage with one another anymore. Because one, everybody is easily offended. No one is like to take rebuke and correction anymore, right? And when you say things to them, they get angry at you compared to in times past. A man would consider, but when another man criticizes him, for doing something, right? So there's no spiritual and mental growth as a result, because one of the things that helps us grow spiritually is correction. You understand? Being told, look, what you're doing is wrong and you need to correct it. And this is why I like Great Millstone teaching, because when you go off on a doctrine, they say, look, you gotta correct it. Brothers that are not working, they're encouraged to work. Brothers that are overweight are encouraged to live a healthy lifestyle, to exercise, to be at a presentable weight. Brothers who overeat, you have brothers who come up with different herbs to help them push themselves out, and they give advice on different things that they could try to help lose weight. So so on and so forth. Self-improvement, and that self-improvement comes from being challenged or criticized on your behavior. You understand? So in society, and especially in the workplace, a lot of dysfunction breed as a result of not being told when you're going off or when you're going wrong. You understand? And that breeds a wicked society. So I was just thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? I might do a lesson on it. And I thought about this one scripture right quick. So it's going to be quick and straight to the point. It says, this is 2 Timothy 4:3. And then NLT, and it says, for a time is coming, and we in that time now, man. You can't tell people about their behavior, their sexual orientation, even though it's wrong. You could go into the scriptures and bring it out, and they still don't want to hear it, right? It says, for a time is coming when people will no longer listen to song, and wholeful teaching, right? They will follow their own desire and will look for teachers who will tell them whatever the itching ears want to hear. So they would reject some doctrine. So people will no longer, which they don't now, tolerate true biblical teachings. And this is why the men of the Lord that sound in highways and the byways, they would be in danger in these particular days. I mean, in the times past, people have always, verbally attacked them, spit on them, threw balls of water, different fluids and stuff on them. But we are coming into a time with the lawlessness. They're gonna want to do bodily harm, more bodily harm to them. And when they go into itching ears, that covers a desire to validate a person's behavior. Yeah, so like I was saying, having itching ears, it goes into a desire to validate a person's behavior rather than to challenge them. So how is there growth on the part if you're telling somebody something that is not good for them and it's not good for the environment, right? Or you have people who subscribe to the Rainbow Coalition. You tell them about their ways and they don't want to hear it, but they rather report you to get you in trouble. And that's on the inside of a job setting. How much more so when brothers teach against, adultery and the behavior of our people? They want to unalive them or kill them. They want to get rid of them. You understand? So we are in that time now. Right? It says for the time is coming when people will no longer listen to sound and wholesome teaching, for they will follow their own desires and look for teachers who will tell them whatever their ears want to hear, right? So they're going to listen to people, who will also validate their desires, their wicked carnal desires. You understand? And like I said, and this is what is going to put the men of the Lord in danger in the times to come. You understand? And Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is going to call these men tongue to cleave, in their mouth. They will no longer be correcting these wicked people anymore, because at that point the elect would have already heard the word in their hearts and their minds, and repented, and he would remove these men from off the street. You understand? But if he don't do that, these people is going to overtake them. So to prevent that, the Most High at the right moment is going to have these men no longer teach on the highways and the byways, especially on these the unicorn and on the internet, because you have a lot of trolls, people who threaten brothers' lives, their jobs, try to get them in trouble, all kind of madness, man. So get this word now before it goes away. So when I saw the safety briefing concerning harassment and stuff, which harassment is wrong, but if you're receiving correction, somebody telling you about your ways, it's for your benefit, but you don't want to hear. You want to continue in your dysfunction. So this place is done, man. Keep listening to the word and appreciate it, because in the time of testings and trials, these are examples, and these elder apostles and the bishops and brothers teaching is what is going to come to mind to help you to deal with the various challenges and calamities that are to come. So I just wanted to share that real quick and encourage the body, get this word, because this word will soon disappear. So until the next time, shalom.